My segment of the presentation is called Online Presence versus Present Online. See, everyone is online, everyone's present online, but very few have online presence. So we're going to dive deep into the 9 different major networks, the social networks, what their niche is, and how to truly capture business from them with the correct approach versus the approach that so many people take today, which is the wrong approach, the techie side of it instead of the human side of it. So I can't wait.
Absolutely. Guys, if you're in real estate, if you're thinking about going into real estate, this is an absolute must-attend event.
Must.
We'll see you there. You say digital relationships are 100 times more powerful than real life relationships in the same period of time. What in the world does that mean?
Yeah, that's turned some heads and ruffled some feathers since I've been saying it. A digital relationship is 100 times more powerful, bonded, tight of a relationship than a real life relationship in the same period of time. The key to what I'm saying in that statement is the last 6 words, in the same period of time, that is.
Right.
So what I try to tell people is, if I add you, like if we're at a barbecue, we meet, and then I leave the barbecue and an hour later I look for you on Facebook, I add you as a friend. And John and I don't find each other on Facebook that night. We just met, and that's it. And then 3 weeks later, the same day I met both of you, who do I actually have a larger bond and deep connection with?
Hands down.
Hands down, you. Because Facebook took our 6 degrees of separation, not in 3 weeks, in 3 hours. And went, and just connected us. You're both Chicago Bulls fans living in LA. You both have a dog named Roxy. You have 18 mutual friends. One of those friends is his best friend and his uncle. And so then the connection is just off and running. And then John, who I met the same day as you, maybe we've gotten a beer one time in that 3 weeks. I still don't know a fraction of what I know about you with John. And so I try to make that light bulb click with people like I did for me, and take them to the human side to social media and online presence rather than the techie side that so many people take when they go online.
Love that. That's great. So skeptics say social media lacks authenticity and simply feeds the ego without leading to business. What do you think about that?
Because they're right in the sense that the majority of people only rub their own ego, and they take this approach that it's social selling, or it's the moment to sell themselves to the world, when in actuality, we go back to what I said. The same reason your friends and family love you is how you're going to get 5,000 other people to love you. Every time you go out with your friends and family, are you telling me that at Thanksgiving, at the Thanksgiving dinner, all you're talking about is if anybody has any business, or pitching your listings, or pitching your real estate, or pitching your awards? Or are you talking about life and you're making them laugh? Oh, that's right, because you're naturally funny. Then why aren't you being naturally funny online? So I think that the skeptics are right in the sense that 99% of people are doing it wrong, so they're only showing the people doing it wrong, versus the people who are taking the human self approach. We're the ones doing it right and capturing so many. I don't like saying capturing business from social media. I like saying capturing relationships from social media. And last I checked, relationships are what result into success.
Interesting.
If you're in sales, you need people. And you're not going to have people at the level you can find them online. So it's deepening relationships and the rest comes.
Wow. Wow, that's good. That's really good. Talk to me a little bit about how you're using video on social media.
Video is everything. I mean, video today is truly your message and the ability to get your message out to an unlimited percentage of people in the world. And if done correctly, the ROI is significant. So I came across it on kind of accident. I didn't even realize what I was doing. Is as I was building my business and my luxury real estate career, then I started getting on the show $1 Million Listing on Bravo, and co-listing with like Madison, and showing Josh Flagg's properties, and like season 4 and 5 and 6 as just like a guest of the show. And I remember Madison, who's a very good friend of mine, in 2010, he goes, you need to like get yourself a promo video of who you are as an agent, like a trailer. And I'm like, oh, you think like the one they play for you? And he's like, yeah. And I go, oh, so like the show will like maybe shoot one for me? He's like, no. He's like, you're not a star of the show. Like, you're gonna need to go out there and like hire your own crew.
Sure.
And there was a crew that was doing a lot of things for our company at the time, and I became friends with them that they shot my first 60-second who I am as an agent. And I honestly thought in 2010, when that was uploaded to YouTube, that it was a self pat on the back, like, check me out.
Yeah.
I had no idea the power that video would have.
Wow.
And within just a couple months of that video going live and it becoming the new thing that I sent out, and when people would say, you know, Tony, I gave my neighbor your card because they're thinking of selling their house. Before video, I was like, okay, great, I look forward to the call.
Yeah.
Then 2 days later, and this still happens to this day, then 2 days later, what do we do if we haven't heard from the person? We call our friend again and say, hey, I haven't heard from them.
Yeah.
Like, can I call them? I don't want to give you their number. They said they call you.
Right.
And then eventually they lose the card, or somebody comes across their life that they actually feel connected to and they never called you.
Sure.
But when this became my new digital card, when somebody would say, Tony,
Your
we
new
gave your
digital card. Yes.
Yeah, it's your digital message.
Yes.
And when people would say, hey, I gave my neighbor your name or your card, I would say, thank you, I look forward to their call. Would you do me a favor? Can you text them this link and say, by the way, this is the guy we happen to refer you to.
Right.
This is whose business card we gave you. And they were like, sure, I love your video. So then they would text that. Now, once someone was able to start watching it, and it was less than 60 seconds, it's not like it was gonna take forever, they got my message. And there's something to marketing ourselves that people forget is the subconscious connection aspect to marketing, where people don't even realize what's happening. But when someone invests time watching a message, their subconscious wants that time back.
Yes.
It's no longer just a card that they threw away.
True.
Now they actually want that time back, so now they feel more vested to use this person, and they feel like they're connected to them a little better. And that is when, oh my goodness, the ROI just shot through the roof. Like it just, that video, even though I have dozens and dozens more today, that video still, I get calls and makes me money along with all the other ones.
Yeah.
Because video is limitless.
Limitless, that's incredible. Yeah. That's absolutely incredible.
I mean, think about it. One video that you shoot for $1,500 to $5,000, I mean, depends on what level you are doing.
Sure.
But a great quality video, that's equal to a full page ad in a magazine that dies in 30 days.
Yes.
In 6 months, it never even happened. Video, there's no limit. It's a one-time fee, and if done and shot correctly, like from a company like you, that video is going to be their marketing and make them money for years to come.
For years and years. It allows you to craft the perfect first impression.
Yep.
Every single time.
Without question.
Amazing. What is the biggest mistake you see new agents making when attempting to use social media?
New agents?
New agents.
Announcing that they just passed their test.
Yeah, that's true. Everyone does that.
Nobody wants to give a boot,
no.
like what we call them in the fire department, a rookie. Nobody wants to give a rookie a shot at listing their house.
Right.
Like maybe a family friend or a referral who's like, yeah, sure, let's see what you got.
It's too risky.
It's too risky, and you just announced to the world that you're in real estate school, or that you're becoming a real estate agent, or then when you passed your test, I just passed my test. Or you didn't do any of that because you were smart enough to realize, I don't want to tell the world that.
No.
But then you got your first contract, and that's what you posted. I got my first deal.
Oh, wow.
And so new people, I often say, do not announce it, do not talk about it, get your license, and then hit broker tour and start posting photos about the fact that you just finished previewing a property, start talking real estate, but still be yourself. What did I say? Always be yourself, but just start talking about it and watch how people will start to connect, and then you'll start getting comments and messages. You sell real estate? Yeah, you didn't know I sold real estate?
Wow.
Well, how long have you been selling real estate? I stopped counting after the first day, you know?
I hope you guys are watching this. I hope you guys are watching this. He's dropping nuggets.
It's
gold
it's
right
language
now.
is sales.
Yeah.
You know, and everybody does it. The number one rule of sales is to be vague.
Yes.
Right?
Right.
We all do it. Don't say you don't. Like new listing, charming, tear down, got it. Right? Cozy new listing, Cracker Jack box, got it.
Yes.
And so It was just start talking about it and watch how people will want to start reaching out to you and ask a question. But no one who really needs to sell their house, they're going through a divorce, you added them as a friend on Facebook, or they're a friend of your family's, you're already friends, and then they see you announce that you just got your license and they're like, I mean, it might happen here and there, but it's never going to be an extraordinary level of business.
No, because you're coming from a place of lack rather than a place of abundance.
And eventually you'll get there, but you just caused yourself your first speed bump. You put the speed bump there yourself.
Right, right. That's so good. That's really, really good.
So that would be the most common mistake I see new people making.
Very good. So in your book, The Social Agent, all these kinds of tips and tricks are in there?
The first edition Social Agent behind us is the mindset shift.
Okay.
And what it is that book has been out for 5 years, and the reason it still sells and the reason it still continues to climb is because people think, well, if it's about social media, it's old. 5 years, what?
Right.
It's not a navigation book. It's not click this, click here, you're gonna see this menu open up. That's techie, that's navigation. You gotta go to classes for that and learn from a techie on how to do it. This book is the why to do it. First of all, here's what it really is. Second, here's how to change your mindset about it and how to take advantage of it with some nuggets. But it's just a really simple read, because the one thing that never changes about social media is the approach.
Yes.
And the approach is building relationships with humans. That's never going to change.
Right.
My edition 2 is much thicker, and that comes out in January, and that's going to be more technique and strategy.
Okay.
But the first edition will never change because the approach will always be the same. You got to change your mindset and realize this is just building relationships.
Awesome, awesome. So your next book is coming out in January.
Next book comes out in January.
What's the name?
It's going to be the Social Agent Edition 2.
Okay.
But it goes into more technique. And then a third book is coming out in February.
Wow.
And that book is pretty much the second edition, but it's written to all industries: insurance, small business, finance, anybody who's in sales.
Wow.
And that book is called The Death of the Cold Call. And the reason I'm calling it that is why on earth would we do anything cold?
Really big.
When the internet and social media make everything warm.
Wow.
And most people who are old school, because cold calling is what we have to do. No, cold calling is what you have to do because you're not understanding the true idea that is behind social media. You're looking at it as a tech thing and not human.
Yes.
And that's why you're still going old school. And old school works. Every form of lead generation works. I could send 1,000 pigeons out there with my business card tagged to their toe, and I'm sure I'll get a listing.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean it's the most effective form of communication anymore. But when I go online, I can do in 30 minutes on Facebook or any social network what it would take 2 weeks to do door knocking.
Absolutely. I think with the proper branding online, it's not only do you have presence, I think that you become omnipresent.
Yeah, very good word.
You create a brand around yourself, enough buzz to where people are coming to you.
Yeah, that's exactly what started happening.
Yeah. Fantastic. Tony, you're obviously crushing it. You're speaking across the nation. You're writing books. You're incredibly successful. Who inspires you?
Obviously the answers that so many people say, there's so many leaders and outstanding people: John Maxwell, Tony Robbins, my mother, my father, my sons. They push me.
Right.
They inspire me. I don't have just one though, and I would never want to just name one. And so my true answer when people ask me who inspires me is people. Just people.
Yeah.
Like my audience.
Yeah.
Somebody calling me and saying that they overcame an obstacle, a coaching client of mine who actually implemented what I told them to do, and their entire life has changed in course. People inspire me, and I'm blown away by people every day. I'm just blown away by the things that come out of their mouth. I'm blown away by how they overcome obstacles, how they teach, and it's just people. And without people, I wouldn't be where I'm at. So any chance I have to help people, that's what wakes me up every day.
That's fantastic. That makes me smile, because our motto for this company is to connect people around real estate. Like that's literally our company slogan.
It'll be why the company continues to dominate.
Phenomenal. Thanks. Looking back, do you have any regrets in your business life? Things that you should have done but didn't, or perhaps that you did do and shouldn't have done?
Plenty. However, the one thing I always say when asked that question is I don't have regrets. If you get to go back in time and change something because you knew what was going to happen, something else is going to happen now.
Right.
It's going to have caused a ripple effect, and now something that didn't happen now happens, and you have a new regret. So if it wasn't for everything that happened to me, I wouldn't be the person I am. So I don't take the card, if you could go back, would you do this differently?
Yeah.
No. I learned everything. The one thing that I would say in a regret or how I used to be is I used to take and make decisions based off of instant gratification rather than delayed gratification. You know, follow the shiny thing, or where the grass was greener, that I thought, or the easy ticket. And it bit me a couple times, and so that's when I finally realized, just have your goal, focus on your goal, fail, and learn from it.
Yes.
And then that's what has always driven my big quote that I tell my sons as well as anybody is, there's only one word that stands between failure and success, and that's quitting.
Wow.
And so I want to fail. You
Yes.
need to fail.
You need to fail to learn.
But you have to learn from it. That's what really pushes success.
Great.
And everyone has said that, but I think a lot of people just have a hard time.
You have to know that,
it.
like really believe that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And it's because you fail and you're afraid that your family or people are going to ridicule you, and you don't want to try because you don't want people to say, see, I told you so. The problem is, and it's a very unfortunate fact, it's often our friends and family who are the ones like not wanting us to try to succeed,
Right.
and are the ones that shut us down before anyone else. It's usually our closest friends and family.
It usually is.
And it's because they just didn't achieve it, and they don't want you to be hurt as well.
I believe that as well. Yeah.
However, if you really stop thinking about what other people are going to say, I always say, anybody who talks behind your back is behind you for a reason. Is if you just keep moving forward and you welcome failure, and you allow it to not make you quit, you will, without question, achieve what you want.
Phenomenal. Well, that's a great way to end. Tony, thank you so much for this opportunity.
Thank you very much for having me. I appreciate it. Yeah, definitely.
Fantastic. Thank you for watching, guys. I hope you learned a ton. I know I did. And we'll see you again next week.
My segment of the presentation is called Online Presence versus Present Online. See, everyone is online, everyone's present online, but very few have online presence. So we're going to dive deep into the 9 different major networks, the social networks, what their niche is, and how to truly capture business from them with the correct approach versus the approach that so many people take today, which is the wrong approach, the techie side of it instead of the human side of it. So I can't wait.
Absolutely. Guys, if you're in real estate, if you're thinking about going into real estate, this is an absolute must-attend event. We'll see you there.